What's up, WrestleScope Nation? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, and today we are covering a story that broke live on Monday Night Raw just hours ago. And let me tell you right now, this changes everything. Not just for one superstar, not just for one match. This changes the entire landscape leading into Elimination Chamber and possibly WrestleMania 42 itself. But before we get into the full breakdown, I need you to do something for me right now. Smash that like button. Drop a comment below telling me what you think about what happened. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you even doing? Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a WrestleScope breakdown. Now, let's get into it. Let me paint you a picture. It's Monday, February 23rd, 2026. WWE is in Atlanta, Georgia, Cody Rhodes' hometown. The State Farm Arena is electric. AJ Styles is being honored. The crowd is buzzing. And to kick off the night, one of the most important qualifying matches of the year kicks into gear. A triple threat, Bronson Reed versus Jey Uso versus Original El Grande Americano, for the final spot in the men's Elimination Chamber match this Saturday in Chicago. Now here's what you need to know before I go any further. Bronson Reed was the planned winner of this match. That's not speculation. That's not a rumor. WrestleVotes, one of the most reliable insiders in the business, confirmed it. Bronson Reed was supposed to enter that chamber. He had a story to tell. The vision needed him, and WWE Creative had a plan. And then, in one brutal, heartbreaking moment, all of that was ripped away. During a commercial break, as Reed dove in to break up a pin, launching himself to bulldoze the pile as Corey Graves described it, he came down hard on his right arm. The replay showed it instantly. The moment his arm hit the mat, something was wrong. Reed clutched his arm, clenched his fist. The look on his face wasn't selling. That was real pain. That was a man who knew in an instant that his night, and possibly his next several months, were over. And then came the moment that silenced the wrestling world. Referee Lod Zapata, during the commercial break, raised the dreaded X sign. If you don't know what that means, that is WWE's universal signal to everyone in the arena that this is not a work. This is not part of the show. This is a legitimate injury. And if that wasn't enough, Michael Cole received word from the back later in the broadcast and confirmed it on commentary. Bronson Reed has suffered a distal bicep tear, and he is now out indefinitely. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Out indefinitely. Okay, I need to stop right here because there is something about this story that should genuinely make every single one of you angry. And I don't mean angry at WWE or angry at the wrestlers. I mean angry at the situation, because the timing of this is absolutely catastrophic, and here is why. Think about what the Vision has been through these last few months. Seth Rollins, the man who built that faction, the man who was the heartbeat of the Vision, suffered a torn rotator cuff at Crown Jewel in October 2025. Gone. Then at the Royal Rumble, Braun Breaker, the powerhouse, the ICC champion, the guy who was being positioned as one of the biggest stars in WWE, re-aggravated a hernia when he flipped out on commentary, rushed into surgery. Gone. That means the faction's three founding pillars, Rollins, Breaker, Reed, are all now sitting at home. All three of them, in less than 4 months, wiped out by injuries. The Vision is left standing with Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and Paul Heyman. And while those are entertaining personalities, let's be real, that is not the Vision WWE envisioned going into WrestleMania 42. Not even close. And here's what really gets me going, and I want to hear your thoughts on this in the comments. Bronson Reed had just come back from a significant injury himself. He missed the first half of 2025 after tearing up his ankle at Survivor Series 2024. He clawed his way back. He got slotted into the Vision. He was stepping up as the central figure while his stablemates were sidelined. He was doing everything right. And now this, a distal bicep tear. For those who don't know, that is not a minor injury. That is not a miss a few weeks situation. A distal bicep tear typically requires surgery and carries a recovery timeline that can stretch anywhere from 4 to 6 months, or longer depending on the severity and the individual's healing process. We're talking WrestleMania season. We're potentially talking summer. WWE has provided no timeline other than that dreaded word, indefinitely. So yes, I am angry, and you should be too. Not because someone is to blame. Injuries in professional wrestling are an occupational hazard and a part of the brutal reality of this business. But because this man worked his way back, got back on track, and now has to do it all over again. Now, let's talk about the ripple effects, because this injury doesn't just affect Bronson Reed. This has shockwaves that reach all the way to WrestleMania 42,
and WWE has a lot of scrambling to do.
First and most immediately, the Elimination Chamber. Reed was the planned sixth entrant in the men's chamber match this Saturday in Chicago. With him out, Jey Uso stepped in by winning the qualifying match. That's an adjustment WWE had to make in real time, on the fly, with the whole world watching. The creative team literally called an audible in the middle of a live broadcast. Think about that. They changed the match finish on the spot because reality overtook the script. And honestly, Jey Uso in the chamber is not a bad consolation prize for the fans. But from a storyline perspective, this absolutely disrupts the narrative WWE had building around the Vision. Bronson Reed was supposed to be the faction's representative in that match. He was their guy. Now they have no one in there. Second, WrestleMania 42. WWE's creative team had plans for Reed going into the show of shows. We don't know the specifics yet, but given how prominently the Vision had been positioned, it's safe to assume Bronson Reed had a WrestleMania match on the table. That is now in serious jeopardy. The big question is whether he can recover fast enough to be physically ready by the time WrestleMania rolls around. And at this point, with no timeline, it's genuinely unknown. Third, the Vision itself. What is this faction now? What is their purpose? Seth Rollins hasn't been seen in months. Braun Breaker is rehabbing from hernia surgery and racing the clock to make it back for WrestleMania. And now Bronson Reed is out indefinitely. You've got Logan Paul and Austin Theory carrying the faction, which is a sentence nobody expected to say when the Vision was first formed. Paul Heyman is still there as the wise man figure, but without the muscle, without the credibility, this faction is on life support. And here's the truly chilling thing. All three of those original Vision members going down in such a short window of time almost feels like a curse. Rollins, Breaker, Reed, boom, 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 one after the other. It's the kind of thing that doesn't feel real, and yet here we are. All right, now here's where WrestleScope brings the unique angle, because I refuse to just give you the facts and send you home. We're going deeper. What if this string of injuries to the Vision is actually the storyline gift that WWE didn't ask for but desperately needed? Stay with me here. Think about how compelling it would be if WWE leans into the chaos. Logan Paul and Austin Theory, two of the most detestable self-serving heels on the roster, are suddenly in survival mode. Their heavyweights are gone, their credibility is crumbling, and in that power vacuum, you have an opportunity to tell the story of a faction imploding, or alternatively, a faction that completely reinvents itself with someone unexpected rising to the top. What if someone new joins the Vision to fill the void left by Reed and Breaker? What if a shocking return or a shocking betrayal fundamentally reshapes what the Vision even is? This injury, as devastating as it is for Reed personally, could be the catalyst that gives WWE's creative team an opportunity to do something truly surprising. Or, and this is the alternate reading, what if Reed's comeback later in the year becomes the biggest babyface moment of 2026? What if Bronson Reed comes back, no longer under Paul Heyman's thumb, no longer heel, and turns the whole thing on its head? The man has been through two significant injuries now. The crowd will be behind him in a way they haven't been before. There's a story there, a powerful one. But none of that happens with him getting healthy first. And right now, our thoughts are with Bronson Reed, because at the end of the day, before he is a character or a storyline or a faction member, he is a human being who got hurt doing something he loves. Let's recap what we know. On the February 23, 2026 edition of Monday Night Raw in Atlanta, Georgia, Bronson Reed suffered a distal bicep tear during a triple-threat Elimination Chamber qualifying match against Jey Uso and El Grande Americano. He was the planned winner of that match. WWE changed the finish in real time. Michael Cole confirmed the injury on commentary. Reed is now out indefinitely, with no timeline for his return. He becomes the third original Vision member to be sidelined by injury, joining Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. The Vision is in ruins heading into Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania season, and the WWE landscape has shifted dramatically in just one night. We are going to keep a close eye on all updates related to Bronson Reed's recovery and the Vision's future, and WrestleScope will be here every step of the way to break it all down for you. Now here's what I want from you before you click off this video. I want you to drop a comment right now. Do you think the Vision is done as a faction? Do you think Bronson Reed can come back before WrestleMania 42? And do you think this injury curse is just bad luck, or is WWE overworking the talent? Let me know. Every single comment matters, and I read every one of them. If this video gave you the breakdown you were looking for, please smash that like button. It genuinely helps us more than you know, and it takes literally 2 seconds of your time. If you want more WWE breakdowns, news, and deep dives like this one every single week,